Guys, welcome to Style Class, and today's episode I think is going to be particularly great, and we're going to figure out how to save it and then chop it up into really digestible bites. Because today we are going to take a big step back, and we are talking about the closet construct and answering the question, where do I even start?
Yeah.
So, I mean, we've been on the road.
Yes, we have been. Yeah. You've been on the road again and again, too. Just got back last week.
And Katura and I just did an event in London, and we met with 200 people. And what was fascinating was 100 of them came in, and they were just like total ballers.
Mm-hmm.
Like they knew what they wanted. They had their style game on. And the other 100 came in, and they were really had a lot of questions.
But they were also ready.
Ready,
but they were unsure. Like, where do I start? Bottoms, pants, shoes. Like, give it to me.
Yeah, and it's kind of like, you know how I love quoting from movies. So Billy Crystal in something. Oh wait, what's the one with Meg Ryan? I'll have what she's having.
Wait, is that not Cat's
When
Deli?
Billy Met Sally.
Oh,
yes.
I was like, finally, a movie I know.
But he says a line. He's like, you know, once you decide on something, it was when he fell in love with her and realized that he did. It's like you have to get on with your life. And so what we found is that a lot of people had really come to the conclusion that personal style was important to them. They understand that it is an outward expression of who you are on the inside, and that that's not good or bad, but often it's just simply a reality. And that once they really felt that, once they had done some digging trying to figure out who they are, they were like ready to put pedal to the metal. But the thing is, when you put pedal to the metal, you don't want to take the car and slam it into a wall. So what we want to do is help you guys figure out where that beginnings should go, where they should start. And then we want to do that through the lens of a few different constructs here. So what we're going to do is we are going to look at it from the lens of Sarah, who is our brand director, and she's going to be talking as a petite individual, and then one who we all know that she's highly creative. Then we're bringing on Brittany, and Brittany is just the most beautiful curves in the world. And of course, curves do not define her, and that's actually exactly the point of what she will be talking about and why she's made the choices that she's made and what her closet is. The other person is Stella, who is your up-and-comer executive, like early mid-20s. Then we've got Katura.
Yeah. So
more than a mom, but
also talking about my journey from momming to now and what that meant for my style.
Yep. And then last, we are going to dive into my starter closet, because a lot of you guys, right, you're in your late 40s up to 60s, whatever, go for it, 70, 80 and beyond. But even then, you still are uncertain about how to express yourself and do it consistently and do it in a way that is calming. So why don't we bring on our first
Let's do it.
little guy,
Right.
Sarah. And you guys know, so Sarah's our brand director. Bring her out here. Sarah Brody.
Hi. Thank you, Matt.
Okay, so no, go ahead and say it. We're
take
going to
a
actually be giving each other instructions here, because post we want this to be as informative and as functional as possible.
Take a breather for TikTok so we can post it everywhere.
I was supposed to take a breather. Right. So
I don't know if I'm in that breather, but okay.
So Sarah is our brand director, and she had a styling brand director, and Sarah is 5 feet
0.
5 feet 0. And what she is going to talk to you about is what her initial choices were to get that foundation of a closet going. And then you've got so much experience now working with other petite customers and helping them find the styles that work best for them. So why don't you talk to us about what's in your closet?
So I think that, as a creative pragmatist, my adjectives are the same as Amy's, as Katura's, chill, modern, and classic. And I think, as that is our brand ethos. That's really what I started with, and really what I would suggest anyone who shares in our mindset to kind of start with. So for me, I think that pants or skirts that fit well are really critical for someone who's short. You can always, we have snaps at the bottom of most of our pants. You can always snap them up. But these jeans, for instance, the Slouchy Carpenter jean,
Yeah.
I actually had tailored
Yeah.
so that it hit me kind of at the perfect, almost cropped length.
I love it. Okay, so this was how much did you have tailored off?
Like a good amount.
Okay.
Like, yeah, so I mean, I think also the jean didn't have two lengths.
Yeah.
So I really wanted to make sure that I could wear it and really not have to like think twice. So
Yeah.
while I'm not saying like go alter everything, I do think that fit is really critical, and
Yeah.
finding the right tailor is also a big help and a big point that I think petite people, really everyone can benefit from, but I think petite people in particular.
Yeah, and especially because, you know, when you are giving yourself the time to be very thoughtful in what you are buying and making sure that you're going to get lots of wear out of it, then yes, the tailoring makes sense when you can really like lift it up to this,
Totally.
you know, to these core pieces that I know fuel you on any given week.
Absolutely. And you know, to be able to just like lean in and not have to really think twice if something is going to fit weird or just not look right with the shoe. I wanted to have the options, but know at the end of the day, if I was wearing, you know, like this Rudolph
Yeah.
flat, that I could wear it and my jean wouldn't drag on the floor. And so, you know, I've just cuffed it here, but also have it straight.
I think what I noticed right away in your assortment is, and I saw this in everyone's assortment, when I asked them what are the 10-ish items that you started with, is everyone had a very diverse range of fabrications.
Totally.
So you've got nylons up here, you've got things with a silky feel, raw denim,
Totally.
cashmeres, t-shirts, tropical wools, lace.
I think texture is really important because that's really what's going to start to differentiate you from start to allow you to play with your modifier more. And
Yeah.
for me, as someone who definitely leans in creatively and takes a lot of risks, especially through what I'm wearing, I definitely really leaned into the different textures.
Yeah, and that gives a lot of friction to a closet. So if you're thinking about the checklist, the first one is, do I have a range of textures in the closet, and specifically textures that can be worn 12 months out of the year? The second part of your checklist that is really important is it a ring 1, 2, or 3 color? Because this foundation really needs to be in the first color rings. And when you have those color rings, if they're all in tropical wool, or if you bought them all in a cotton
You're not going to
shirting,
be able to add, you're not going to have depth.
Yeah,
You're
like-
going to have a uniform that literally is the same when, you
you
know,
have the same feeling
right, and
every
you're-
time.
And you want to be able to evoke different emotions depending on your mood, depending on the vibe. So I think that that's really important, even if you love, you know, a tropical wool or the Italian sporty nylon.
I want to remind you
Did-
guys that this is ring 1, ring 2 here is your neutrals, and ring 3 are those indescribable
Yeah.
colorways here.
So I think, you know, obviously, this toffee colored fleece pant is our tropical wool. It is a newer style for us, and I think that this is the color that really falls in to ring 3. As someone who has, you know, Stella pants in black and navy, I immediately knew that I wanted to get this color because
Yeah.
I really wanted to add some dimension to, you know, this offering. And I think even now, just looking at it taken away, you've immediately lost kind of like that ring 3 color, which
And for a starter closet, one of the reasons why the Reese pant is really good for a starter closet for a petite is it rolls up
Yes.
really nicely. And it's not a roll that falls down, you know, which happens a lot of times in
Totally.
a soft fabric like a tropical wool.
Totally.
You walk and you're like, shit,
I
I'm
think
dragging
because
the
it's
ground.
tapered at the bottom,
Yeah.
it really allows you to hold that structure, that shape with the roll. And also, you know, sometimes I don't roll it and it's a little bit more relaxed, a little bit
Yeah.
more eased out, but there's nothing wrong with that.
So that's really great for a ring 3, for a more petite customer. And then the shorter customer as well, one thing I love about the pleated skirt is you can always roll over the waistband.
Totally, which I do. So, I mean, I can definitely wear the pleated skirt at this length, but also I roll it up to kind of hit at the mid calf. And I wore kind of like my core
Yeah.
shirting situation, which is just like our perfect fitted tee and our washable cashmere navy pullover, which I literally would wear with every single one of these. And I don't necessarily think this is, tailored specifically for someone that is petite, I do think that it offers a lot of versatility.
So one of the things that you want to think about here when you are a petite dresser, but also when you're anyone. So here's a great thing. I'm prefacing it with petite because Sarah's here. So this is a lens that we're going to talk through. But what you're going to see is when we get to Katura, who's 5'9", when we get to all of our different shapes and sizes, it's going to be the same principle.
Totally.
You're just going to be applying it in a different way. So what's nice here is Sarah, you can see with this head to toe navy into this like darker burgundy. Name the brand, because last time you wore these, so many
They're
were buzz.
Bottega.
Okay, beautiful
Sorry.
Bottega.
Sorry.
They were gorgeous. So many people asked last time. But you've got this very long, lean look. And if you're
Totally.
talking about one ton or none, this is none.
Totally.
But if you're wearing this, you can get a good one going on. Your eye is going right to the brown skirt
Totally.
here. But then if you were to wear a bright blue sock and then, I don't know, another piece of jewelry or whatever, you're going to get a good ton.
Totally.
And so what some people like when they are on the more petite side is
They want to elongate.
fluid. Yeah.
Which, totally great. I definitely crave more. That's just, within my personal preference. And so I think I lean towards ton more. So even if I am wearing all navy or all black, I will definitely amp it up with the right shoe or the right accessory.
So we're gonna go through these so we can get on, because we're gonna measure this time out for each group. But I know that you love the Sid because it comes in two sizes.
Yeah, so this
two
is
lengths.
this is the shorter length,
Yeah.
and I can still snap it up. I think, again, this is an example of a pant that offers a lot of built-in versatility.
And what size do you wear in the Sid?
A 24.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then you've got the navy cashmere, which
Self-explanatory, but
Self-explanatory.
they are really, I will say I wear the polo and the v-neck equally as much.
And then what we love about the perfect tee here that is in these heavier weights is what happens is when Sarah is wearing it here with the pant, it's very polished.
Yeah.
This neckline is high. Even when I've got on a vintage tee, guys, I actually pinned it up because that higher neckline gives it a little bit of a
Totally.
refinement.
And I love the idea of 1950s outsiders, just something that leans into classic and traditional, but obviously, is still chill and feels modern as well.
And it allows you to wear it with the white and then wear it with the blazer. And so Sarah's blazer on her rack here is the Liam, and it's the same blazer as me. So why don't you put this on in the extra small?
Yep.
And you
Sarah,
can see.
what size was your leather jacket you were wearing earlier?
An extra small, and I definitely take advantage of the shearling, which I wear on and off the collar.
Cool.
Okay. So you can see here, I'm wearing the size small, and Sarah's wearing the extra small. And what I want to show you is a lot of times we actually sell the Liam in terms of length rather than sizing. So if you don't mind, can I put on
Yeah,
your
of course.
extra small?
I was gonna say, can you cross cinch it?
Yeah, and actually I want to see you in the small. So
Because there's really an inch difference in
again,
width.
it's like taking water out of a swimming pool by cup. So you can see here I am in the extra small. So this is officially drowning you here.
Right.
And for me, what I would say, and this is, it's turned it into a more average
Right.
coat for me.
I think you lose that oversized
Yeah.
shape.
So we really do, it's about looking at your height here.
Totally.
And then one of the other things I saw that you have on yours is kind of this hoodie scarf. And this is a new one, but I think it's giving you
Totally.
oops, sorry,
Look who's here.
all the moment here.
Yeah,
And then you've
what's
got
that?
this hoodie thing going on. So for Sarah being on the uber creative side here, lots of options that you can layer in are really key.
Totally.
You have in here the slip skirt.
You wear the slip skirt a lot.
I do. I love the versatility of a slip skirt. I think because I am petite, having something that's a little bit slinkier actually doesn't look, someone would say, like sexy or hot. It just kind of like
That's like your pencil skirt almost. But
right.
not, right?
Yeah, it's just like it doesn't, I think like when you think of like a camisole, the connotation is more like lingerie, but I feel like for me, if I wear this with a blazer and like a
Big sweater,
big sweater, knee-high boot, you know, it just really creates a whole outfit, and it's a really simple but beautiful base layer.
So for your checklist, guys, we talked about texture, we talked about all the ring twos, we talked about the weight of the materials going 12 months of the year.
Mm-hmm.
So the other thing that you want to think about is in this starter closet, you really want to make sure that the items have the ability to go from play to dinner to work.
Mhm.
So your t-shirt with sneakers is your play,
Totally.
obviously dinner, and then work. Hello.
Hello.
Hello. And then this is your extra really fun item here, and this is the lace skirt, which I think for you, this isn't necessarily so much a petite thing,
Mm-hmm.
but if you are a very creative person, this or sheer skirt becomes
Totally.
the
I think this
unexpected
or like the
wearable.
Artemis beading skirt really becomes my have because it's sheer. I can definitely layer colored tights. I can
Yeah.
layer, you know, another lace tight, and you're getting definitely more depth and more dimension. I wore this with a sweater and a boot during market, and then I wore it out with
So-
a heel. So
Yeah, so what you want to think about here is if you are petite and if you are a person who really like craves some of the fun attention that clothing can give, right? Then don't dismiss the idea that your starter closet would actually include something like a lace skirt.
Totally.
And you can start here and go big. Also go to eBay and look at vintage lingerie lace skirts there. So I want to bring out just another little fun petite-er in the office here because she's wearing one of our favorites today. Thank you so much, Sarah.
Thanks.
Appreciate it. So guys, this is Elaine, and for those kind of new here to watching, Elaine is the president of
Hello.
Tibby. You've been here
12 and a half.
12 and a half years,
Yeah.
long time. And so this was one of your, not one of your first purchases, because you've been here long enough, right? But this was one of the first you said when you were kind of like cleaning out that wardrobe after 2020 when we were like kind of constructing this concept. So
Yeah.
what led to this for you? The Calder knit pant, what size are you wearing?
I'm wearing small,
Small. And what,
in the regular lane.
regular length,
Yes.
size small, in the chocolate brown, a neutral.
Chocolate
And how
brown.
tall are you?
I'm 5'2".
5'2".
And a quarter, but I was told to drop the quarter.
Okay.
Keep
Got
that
it.
quarter.
Keep that quarter.
And so, what does this pant do for you? Because you have two young children.
I have 2 young children. I think the pant performed at its best this morning because I needed to take my son to school, and I had wanted to get dressed for work so that I could just get to the subway after school drop off, but I couldn't make it work. So I was looking for something to just literally pull on, be
Yeah.
comfortable with, and so I could run because we were late, of course. But at the same time, not look sloppy when I showed up at school, right? Because there are parents there, the head of school is there, you know, so on and so forth.
Fitting in without standing out, but being yourself.
The whole thing. So
Yeah.
I pulled these on, and then after school drop off, I was like, you know what, I'm feeling so good in them, and they, because of the sculpted detail, you really can look
Yeah.
ready. You can look ready for the day, ready for that never-ending to-do list at the office, etc. So
Yeah, so guys,
I have them
this,
in all colors.
and this really hits, again, on all the things that we talked about. It's play, dinner, work. The fabrication is nearly year-round. The sculpting takes something very sporty and gives it a much more versatile edge to it. So, you know, just when you are thinking about how these things are going to perform in your closet, remember your goosebumps, your love of something, that's the first litmus test on whether or not it should go into the closet. But everything else, your follow-up, you're going to run through like a very analytical process and be able to be like, yes, this works.
It's that functionality
Yeah.
that has to come to play. So thank you, Amy. Thank you, Elaine. Thanks, guys.
All right, we got Britt next.
Thanks.
Britt of the famous outfit, who Amy G has already copped out to copying you at the
Wow.
HBO event. And she
Yeah.
looked amazing, and we will not do who wore it best because you guys both wore it equally.
Yeah.
So Britt, why don't you talk?
Yeah.
So
What do you do
Brittany,
here?
I'm head of PR for Tibby. So day to day, I am commuting from Long Island. I am in meetings with the team. I'm traveling outside of the office to coffee or lunch meetings, sometimes have an event. So, you know, being at the earlier stage of my career, I really need these pieces to work for me.
Yeah.
And work with me and allow me to play a little bit. So this outfit that I'm wearing, the Newton
Yeah.
pinstripe,
Mhm.
yeah, I have worn it probably like 4 or 5 times already in
Yeah.
the span of like 2.5 weeks. And I've worn it different ways every time.
And really for someone at my age, I will tell you, don't ever let this leave your closet.
No.
Like
No.
this is one, you know, at your age, what you're considering, like, right, I know your income and I know
Yeah.
how busy you are and all that. I mean, I do,
Yeah.
right? Like I'm the one. But
Writes the paycheck.
you really want to make sure that you are investing in powerhouse clothing,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah. And pieces that I would also wear on the weekend with my fiance going down like a date night or something.
Yeah.
Like I will be wearing this skirt then, but I wore it for New York market, I wore it for Paris market,
Yeah.
and differently each time. So this I will never let go
No,
of.
don't ever let go of it.
Um,
And your fiance
Yeah.
will wear it too because
Yes,
it's-
He does.
he already called dibs on the shirt. Not the skirt, but the shirt.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
you have got consistency, guys. Here, what we're
Yeah.
seeing, we just had Sarah at 5'2",
Yeah.
How
me
tall are you?
here.
I'm like, I want to say 5'5". Sorry, it's hot in here.
What size lamb was this?
This is large. And I wore it like a coat today.
Mhm.
It's a little chilly,
Yeah.
so an additional layer.
But you wear this. This is your jam.
But the Liam is also, I wear every week. I wear it as a jacket. I wear it over a slip dress. I wear it with jeans, skirt, everything.
Yeah.
The Liam is my savior, like my workhorse.
And for some of you guys, I just want to explain here that some of you have written and you've said, I know this Liam is so many of yours workhorses,
Yeah.
but I got it, and for some reason I feel a little fraudulent when I wear it. And what you've gone on to explain to me is that not having worked in an office, being in a very non-officey area, somehow it just tips the scales one bit to officey, and you don't feel as authentic as you want to in it. So what I encourage you to do is, like, if you sense that that is going to bother you, one thing to try out first before you jump in and invest in a blazer like this is go to a men's vintage store and buy a men's jacket and just see, like, how comfortable are you throwing it on at the grocery store.
That's actually how I started before starting at Tibby. I would
Same here.
buy vintage oversized blazers,
Yeah.
especially going into the men's section because I think that they had more muted colors
Yeah.
that I like leaning into. And then I worked my way up to a Liam.
Yeah, because you realize, like, okay, I'm wearing this a
Yeah.
lot, and now I wish it didn't smell like an old cigar. Or
Yeah.
it
No
had a
matter how
tear
many
in it.
times you wash it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So try that out first, and if that's not your thing, what I would say is you do need a jacket in your closet, but maybe you're going to go with one that has like a mandarin collar or more of a sport effect, like some
Yeah.
of the other ones that we have.
Yeah.
So Britt has a range of textures up here.
Yeah.
So I noticed that you have the power mesh.
Yeah.
So just like for Sarah, who the lace ironically is like for her like a
staple.
total staple workout.
Yeah, this has
This
become
you
a
wear a
staple.
lot.
Yeah, I wear this a lot too. For me, I'm wearing this to the office. It's not sheer, even though it is a mesh. It's a double layer and it's pretty thick.
Yeah.
So I just wear, for the summer, when it first launched, I wore bike shorts underneath. Now I'm going to be wearing tights.
And, like, a
And
little
how
t-shirt.
it's styled on e-com with black tights and a turtleneck.
Yeah.
This I feel like just amps it up a little bit. It makes me feel a little bit more creative. And I think it's just a really fun, interesting skirt to have in the wardrobe.
And then you've got like the
Yeah,
gray sweater
I mean-
here. So you've got all the different textures. And I think one of the reasons why a lot of us, when we built our like top 10 pieces, the reason why this sweater ended up in so many is, number one, these are washable. But number two, they're ones that if it is the summertime and you're going to a movie or you're going to a restaurant that you know always like puts the air conditioning on high, these are things that just can bundle up. They can fit into,
It's a great travel sweater
yeah,
too.
you're gonna easily like fit it into your tote bag.
Wait, what is that? Oh,
He's coming.
Launching soon.
Launching soon. The
Okay.
LL Bean collab.
Yeah,
Total
very
classic.
exciting.
We love it.
Very, yeah.
But you know, you can easily just throw it in. So again, year round, and if you sweat a little bit more in the summer, it's fine because
Yeah.
you can throw it in the washing machine.
Exactly. I would love to talk about these trousers
Yes,
too,
please.
because I have, I wore these to our show. I also wore them during Paris Market. They
Yeah.
are a convertible waist trouser in Glen Plaid, and I love the versatility of
Yeah.
these. I think if you are someone who likes to play with proportion, which now that I'm comfortable and have like been grounded with our fundamentals, I'm able to play with proportion more
Yeah.
than I ever was like allowed to in fashion.
Yeah.
So this allows me to do that. I wear it at a low waist with our shrunken polo, and then I also I clip the front and wear it at a higher waist with our sweaters and anything else, and it just is my go-to trouser now.
Yeah, and so what I wanted to talk about here when Brittany said allowed to, what you see up here is this rack is gonna look similar to mine and it's gonna look similar to Sarah's, right? We've all got three different, very, very different body shapes. And I think what is just a real pisser is when you are told that because of a certain shape that you have to dress a certain way. For me, having no chest, I've got a lot of people who would prefer that I wear a big padded neckline or something like that. And I remember when you first joined us, you were very frustrated that the message from the industry is show off your body,
No.
wear
Yeah.
a thong to the grocery store. And I'm like,
It was
You-
like deep V's, tight, like cinched waist, and that never felt comfortable for me. And I actually never explored styles like what we offer here because I was just like, that's not for me. I've been told for so long.
and almost in a misguided,
Yeah.
I'm gonna assume positive intent,
Yeah.
in a misguided attempt to say, you go girl, you got this, like you can do it too. The thing is, okay, I'm a size 4, but I am not wearing a thong and a plunge neck to
Yeah.
Whole Foods shopping for
And neither am I.
groceries. And neither are you.
Yeah.
And so I just find it laughable that
Yeah.
sometimes on these runway shows,
Yeah.
it is always the curvy woman who comes down and she looks like she's about to hump a pole. No, but like, but why?
I know, but it is
When
like it
someone
is a
else
pain
is
point
able
because
to
I'm
come
like,
down just all like
ease
effortless,
out.
and you're like, excuse
yeah, and I'm
me.
like, where's their fit?
Yes,
like I want to
like,
see it. I want
no.
to see it more. And
Yeah.
honestly, I'm
And
most
this is
comfortable
so
in my
chill.
sit jeans, in my Liams,
Yes.
in my eased out, relaxed fits. That's
Yes.
when I feel like I'm putting my best foot forward.
We're gonna cut out that
Yeah.
hump a pole.
Yeah.
So you have got all of these things
Yeah.
that I think for any like tropes would tell you no.
Stay away
and these are
from.
things you live in.
These are things I live in.
Yeah.
I wear them so much that like there's holes in them or that they're
In
like
the
right.
best way.
They really are my uniform. Yeah, and I feel more confident than I ever have.
So
Truly.
for in the sit jean, what size do you wear in the sit
32.
32. Okay.
Mhm.
And so I think what's interesting here is I know you put this denim in to
Yeah.
give some lightness.
Yeah.
And that's what this kind of denim does. So if you are a person who is building up a wardrobe that has a lot of these more urban and business type materials and colors,
Yeah.
this is
This
giving
allows
it
some
good-
freshness. Yeah. And I think you do need it. Like I always leaned in to navies and blacks, and it does help balance it when you have like a lighter classic wash or some lighter textured fabrics like this power mesh. I purposely didn't go for the black
Yeah.
in that. Yeah.
Yeah, so if you're leaning back and looking at Brittany's assortment, you can see like she's got
yeah.
the Scotty pant,
I
right?
also live in those.
You
Yeah.
live in these.
Travel
so you've got
in
this
them.
very sporty
Yeah.
element, right? So just at one glance, here's another denim that I know
Yeah.
you've been living in. So tell me, in the Scotty, what size are you in the
Large.
Scotty?
And Scotty.
Okay, so you're wearing
Yeah.
a size large here,
Mm-hmm.
and then in the double waisted,
32.
32.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Yeah.
32 and large.
Yeah.
And then, I'm sorry, what size in
This
the,
is the 14, I think.
and a size
Yeah.
14 in
Mhm.
this adjustable pant.
Yeah,
So at a glance, and then you've got the scarf hoodie here
I do.
as
Yeah.
well.
Yeah. And I think it just adds like a really fun element for like layering.
Yeah.
It's also functional. I tied it around as a scarf in Paris.
So here
Yeah.
is Brittany's starter wardrobe, and immediately you've got sport, you've got
Yeah.
denim, you've got really dressy,
Yeah.
but every single thing could be worn within a week. And if you pack
Yes.
this, you could go on vacation and
Right.
just be like done.
Exactly. Yep.
Cool. So, all right, thank you. Thank you, ma'am. Oh, I know whose closet this is. I can guess the closets just by what's hanging up here. 'Cause
I
I'm
know.
Like, oh, hello, Stella.
Oh, hello.
Okay,
Boss.
I mean, I'm like going to her and being like, "Can you do my review today?" And I'm like, "Oh yeah, oh yeah."
I forgot.
So here, come up here because you're in the jacket as well. I just want to show first of all how the three of us are wearing blazers in all very different ways.
Mm-hmm.
And so this blazer, this is the.
This is the Ren crepe
Mhm.
with
Tell-
the matching skirt.
And Stella, how tall are you?
I'm 5'6".
Okay, so Stella is 5'6". She is our up and coming executive. She's always like, "What are Frank and Elaine doing in there?" But our up and coming like business exec. And so, and how old are you?
I'm 25.
25.
Wow.
No
And
quarter
so-
life crisis here.
What I love is when I asked you to really give me those like beginning items that you bought. There were beginning items, but you felt very strongly about adding the Ren suiting in because this one's a recent purchase. So you've been with us for 3 years?
3 years.
3 years, give or take, plus on the plus side. So tell me, when you've got this group of your starter, this is your starter wardrobe. What need did this one fill, and why is this becoming an important part of the starter wardrobe?
This is definitely something that I wish I had when I first started at Tibby. I mean,
Sorry, took some
yeah,
time.
come on. My initial purchases were tropical wool, Liam and Stella in black, and then the crispy nylon Stella in black, and that was my bread and butter. I'm so sorry to everyone that had to see me in that every single day, but it truly was like it made me feel really, really smart and strong and put together and capable.
And you wore the shit out of it. I mean, like, you could wear it
No,
out
seriously.
at night. You wore it Christmas morning. You wore it like
and I
on the
did.
weekend.
I wore it all the time.
Yeah.
And I feel like this kind of hits that same. It checks those boxes. It's
Mhm.
really refined, but it's not like too fussy for someone my age.
Will you come a little bit closer? Because what I loved that you bought this was that I was just about at your age when I had joined American Express, moved to New York, was going to go to Paris for the first time, and there was a similar blazer at Calvin Klein. This is 1993, and I mean, I spent $850.
That's a lot back then.
That was a lot. I mean, just.
Bread was 25 cents.
I rode my horse to work, but it was a lot, and it was a huge part of my paycheck. But I never regretted that purchase, and it really made me feel like I could tackle any medium.
Yeah.
So, what size are you wearing here?
This is an 8 and the skirt is a 6.
Okay.
It's an 8.
Cool.
Okay, great. So what? And then what we've got too, you've got pockets here that are like perfect. So what we want to say here, what I want to say is that when you are reaching for that suit that is going to be your power suit, first of all, I'm sure that you made an effort for it not to be tropical wool because you
Yeah.
really had your base of tropical wool. But I think really when you put it on, if it is giving you all that uber confidence, this is the piece that you want to invest in. You don't want to break your bank in it, guys. Like, I'm not advocating for that. But this might be a piece where you want to invest a little bit more because you're going to amortize this out until you are like 75 years old and still working with Tibby.
Somebody asked me recently how to break this up and make it casual.
Well, I think that's why all the things in your closet really work, because if you're gonna make this investment piece, then your starter closet better work with that investment piece.
Yeah.
Or it's like you're throwing away money. So knowing that it's gonna work with the double-waisted denim that we just saw on Brittany's closet as well, and you've got it in this lighter wash, it's gonna take that sternness of this jacket down
Totally.
a notch. This does the same thing,
I love
right?
this skirt.
Yeah,
I
I mean
have the
this
skirt. I
tall
love
brown
it.
boot.
Are you a skirt person?
I wasn't until I started working here, and that's
Hmm.
begs the whole like skirt for pants people conversation, but it really is true. Like when you find a skirt that doesn't make you feel like you're wearing a skirt, and by feel I mean like I feel like I can't walk up and down the subway stairs.
Or if you put your hands in your pocket, you're
Yeah.
like, oh, I'm rubbing my belly instead of like just kind of, well, because like pants hit here, and this is
Yeah.
what you want to be able to do in a skirt. That's why your pockets are down
Right here.
low, so you can do that. You have two t-shirts up here, and so one is in the classic color in the ring 2, and the other one is in the ring 3.
Mhm.
So for you at your stage, career-wise, and again, I know your income as well. So I'm like, listen, I know where these people are, and I know like I'm aware of what you want to be spending on clothing and what you don't want to be spending. But what do these ring 3 knits get? I mean, because you're wearing a gray one
Yeah.
as well now, so it's kind of like very put together in disguise.
Mm-hmm. I mean, t-shirts are definitely my bread and butter.
Mm-hmm.
Funny story, yesterday I was wearing kind of a ring 3-ish tee, my Liam, and then just a pair of jeans and loafers, and I was walking across the street leaving my apartment to go to work, and this woman who was just sitting outside like enjoying the morning, she was like, "Oh, don't you look nice?" I was like, "Oh, thank you," and she goes, "You look like an executive at a conference." But I was literally wearing a blazer and jeans. So a t-shirt and a blazer, it goes a long way when you're just starting out, and like, just put on a blazer. A blazer is so important.
It goes a long way, and also it's an easy switch out, because when we talk about like the visuals do mean a lot. I think this with this blazer has a time and place.
Yeah.
But if Frank is like, Stella, I really want to meet and go through your goals for next year, you know, not so much,
Yeah.
right? Like, but this and this, you're going to do it with an earring, and you're going to be put together, and it's going to give some interest, and maybe you're going to add like a red shoe or something
Yeah.
to it.
And it's
right?
not going to feel like a costume either,
No.
you know, which is key.
You've also got the Powerhouse shirt here. So again, that Powerhouse shirt, then with this denim, just like,
Yeah, it makes a look. It's so wearable. You can wear this on the weekend with a Calder and a flat. It takes you from play, dinner, work, and like those are really the important check boxes for someone who's, you know, just moved to New York and you're starting your first job and trying to make friends. Like, you are going to play and to dinner and obviously to work. So, you know, you don't want to break the bank, but
so one thing I want to bring up here is a lot of people, when they find the perfect pant, the perfect body for them, they think, oh, I love this pant,
Mhm.
therefore I'll buy it in 3 colors. I'm gonna have 3 amazing like pants I'll wear all the time. What happens is when you take your favorite pant and you simply add different colors, but you haven't thought about the different textures, it's just a different color, and odds are you wake up, you put it on, and you still feel kind of the same, only this day you're in black versus brown or navy. So I see that when you added to your Stella collection after this, you went with the tropical wool instead of just adding in a different color in the
Yeah.
nylon. Because these are giving 2 very different vibes. And if you're wearing this with this jacket, all of a sudden it is like so sporty and chill. But then if you're wearing it with the tropical wool, it's like again, like you mean business,
Yeah.
you know? So when you love something and you wanna expand upon it some more, do not think just colorways, because even just both items in two totally different textures will give you a huge range of new outfits to build on. So,
Can you talk about shoes for Stella? Because Stella's a loafer girl.
yeah, so what do you, you are a loafer girl, but you wear the hell out of this.
Yeah,
shoe.
because I mean, I'm not necessarily a heel person. In my brain, I sometimes think I am. Don't know where that logic checks out. But this definitely is like the heel for a loafer girl. It's low to the ground. It's really comfortable. It's kind of choked up high on the foot, which is what I love about a loafer. It just makes me feel really refined.
Shit.
So, oh my gosh.
Oh, shit.
Oh my god.
Things are going way too smooth. HR, don't sue me. Leslie?
Alright, thank you, Stella.
Thank you.
Alright, great job. Okay, so next we have Katura, who off camera just
Assaulted you.
wouldn't be the first time, so I'm used to
It's
it.
love taps, that's all. I've learned so many
Alright,
things now.
so Katura,
Yeah.
tell me your profile and why these are the items that you started out with, and you really are wearing the OG, like, first day at Tibby wardrobe here.
Yeah, so let me break down. New moms. And when I say new mom, I feel like I'm still a new mom, even though I'm like, they're like, how old is she? Oh my God, is she little? I'm like, no, she's 3 and she's this tall.
Oh,
But you
well,
still
that's
feel new, right?
Absolutely.
So new, meaning newly born, maybe just had the baby or about to have the baby, postpartum. I was craving just ease, but
Yeah.
also some refinement that I wasn't sure where I would get it. I didn't buy maternity clothes. I am thankful for that because I would have probably been still living in them.
Mm-hmm.
I brought my first purchase, so it's kind of nostalgic to see myself in the exact, like almost first purchase from Tibby. I had a
Yeah.
white Gabe shirt and I had my tropical wool. This is actually the same. I bought it for you
Yeah.
guys because I wanted you to know this is a 4 or 5 year old purchase.
Yeah.
Still intact, washed it a lot, and wore it for every single thing. Picnic for Mother's Day, here we are in my good pant and my button-down shirt, dressed up to an event, here it is with a heel. So the Wilt jogger has been a tried and true savior for me because it has the elasticized waistband, but also the refinement of what you would get from a tailored pant. All of the details, even the cargo pocket, while it's sporty, it's still elevated, and that's what I needed.
So Katura, you are 5'8", 5'9"-ish, right?
Yeah, I love that you added a little bit more.
Why not?
Bump me up.
I was short. And then tell me what size are you wearing?
So I'm wearing extra large.
Okay, so this is a really good example when Katura found a pant that she loved, and you went with two really fully different materials,
Mhm.
so that it would give a very different vibe when you wear them.
Completely.
Yeah.
Yeah, and also for the Gabe, when I meet with people, I have the Gabe in multiple washes. This is
Mhm.
actually, I have it in blue, I have
Yeah.
it in white, and I have it in the stripe.
Yeah, and so we didn't have a blue here in the Gabe, but this is the Charlie.
Mhm.
And this is one that I tend to
Mhm.
wear quite a bit, but
I really
this-
like the versatility
Yeah.
of the back. I call this my fly fishing shirt because it just has some details that you normally don't see on a button down, and also I like the
my dad
roominess.
has
So
all those Orvis shirts.
yes, this is completely Orvis, but like flipped on its head. And I'm just doing this to show you, I don't think I could stuff a baby under here, but if I had to breastfeed, I probably wouldn't need some type of, I know you're trying to figure it out, like, is
No.
it? But button downs were key for me, so I would love to have someone wear this postpartum and new mom.
Well, and also, by the way, like for the moms, for those breastfeeding, this shirt opens up. It's just it can be worn as a jacket as well.
Yeah.
And I think that, you know, if you've got the right tank top on that works, like this as a shirt jacket is pretty good for like, you know.
But what I
for
love too
action.
is when you go down in size, because you know sometimes when you're breastfeeding you do lose your weight, or as your body is transitioning, this is a great shape because it drapes. So even though it's oversized, it's just gonna fall kind of flat.
So in your starter closet so far, you've got the pant body that you love and a
Mhm.
tropical wool that really like plays hard and then goes very casual.
Mm-hmm.
You've got a range of these shirts because you just know you throw them on, then they go in the washer,
Easy woven button down.
even woven button down, and then you've got the sporty element going on. And you also wear the sporty skirt a lot.
Right. So the same deal with this pant. I need to jump into my clothes.
Yeah.
In the morning, just like Elaine said, you're planning for a day that might be chaotic. I put this on over pajamas and gone to daycare, drop-offs. I've also thrown this on with a tank top to go to the grocery store, and I never once felt like I was disheveled. As disheveled as my mind felt, I didn't feel like I presented that way.
For sure. I mean, these nylons, especially for people with small children at home, they are so functional, because I remember too, like, you know, you had to go to like a parent-teacher conference. You had so many things at the school. And if I came in like my more formal skirts from work, I look like that mom, you know, that people are like, get the fuck out of here. But then, like, I also wasn't the, you know, I wanted to feel like myself. And this is so you when you wear these skirts with a sneaker, with a boot, it's letting you be that more feminine side, but still very sporty.
Also, I cannot do without a pocket. I had pacifiers in here. I've had everything from toys to crackers. So having a skirt with pockets is clutch for me. And I found value in the white and the black. This is my actual white. So you can see this is survived toddler years, 3 years, not a stain to behold.
Any of these sporty nylon guys, you throw them in the washing machine.
I air dried on the shower curtain, shower rod, and it's done.
And then you've got the same sweatpants here that were on, so 5'9", and she has the same sweatpants here that our 5'2" president Elaine just had as well. And so Elaine's got a small kid at home, so
Yeah,
two.
so comfort is king. Also, having the sculpted ankle really gives this a refinement that all of my other like loungewear per se or athleisure pieces that have been like marketed to me don't. I live in Calder's. I've had every single shade, and I've worn them dressed up or dressed down. When I started, I was wearing the Bronson boot. But if you're just starting with us, I would totally pair this back to on a dressier event. If you're going on a date and you wore this during the day for momming, at night with this little boot, or even the shorter version.
And I think we're gonna do a whole separate session on shoes.
Yeah.
Because it really warrants it. And so,
And I like it with my button downs too. So I wear it with a flat, slim shoe,
yeah.
wear it together, tear it apart.
And what I want to point out here is, you know, Couture's got all of her really important ring 2 neutrals and ring 3-ish colors. But as a mom, you also know that, like, you're not wanting, if this isn't you, you're not wanting to be the mom who always shows up all in black or, you know. And so I think, like, what I love about these browns and these ish colors is, especially as a mom, and you know what, I grew up in the South. When I go home to the South, you do want to wear bright color.
Right.
You do want to be able to put on a print or something, but you want to still feel like yourself. And so you can see here that, like, this bright green, like any bright things you have in your closet, they're going to be balanced out and feel like you. As a mom, I think that is really important. I remember one time Charlie, I came out for something and he just started, like, he just threw down his milk and he started crying. I was like, what? And he's like, why can't you dress like fun moms? And I was like, oh,
That's fair.
you know. And so I do want to, you know, you don't want to, like, scare the shit out of your kids all the time.
I know. I find that a lot of moms that I talk to have a lot of, like, color in their closet from previous lives. Because if you're, whatever age you are, you've had a previous life that maybe you haven't gotten rid of those pieces, and now you're like, what the F?
Or you're a mom and you're, like, thinking that that's what you need.
Yeah, yeah, totally.
And you can, and so the takeaway, guys, here is, actually, let's put this on, because this is I know that you live in the.
So that's my third piece that I bought. One of my first 2020 outings was to go to the Tibby store. So you guys fly in and you're like, I'm going to Tibby. COVID was happening. I was like, I'm going to go to the Tibby store and wear a mask. But a coat, I felt like having a statement, but like also super versatile jacket or outerwear in general really helped me get through and pull together my outfit in a way. Like right now, I feel good wearing my set sneaker.
Yes, if you're wearing sneakers with this, done. So the takeaway here, guys, so far, as you've seen, whether you are 5'2", whether you have these gorgeous, gorgeous curves, whether you are very young and you're kind of working on this budget but needing to invest in higher level things for your career, whether you are a mom of a young child, you can see that the closet here is still very consistent, and it is following, again, texture, adding in proportions, adding in, am I getting the skirt, the pant, the denim, the jacket, the blazer, and the shirt. These are where you're going to want to come back to each time when you are building that closet from scratch. So let's jump into my closet.
Let's do it.
Okay, so my closet, guys, is that of someone who's,
Here, I gotcha.
I'm not gonna say getting on up there in years, because that's just rude to myself.
Getting on up there is such a old school thing to say. Nobody gets on up there anymore.
I'm getting on up there.
Getting on up there.
So, let me give you that one. Okay. And I'm gonna give you this since I've got it on. Thank you.
Sweet.
Okay, so my closet is very much geared towards an individual who is, I'm going to talk like a past self of myself. And it's actually not too past, because it is back in the day of pre-COVID, when even as the head of a design company and everything, I was still trying to figure this stuff out. And if any of you guys have read Catherine Horn's article in The Cut, it was really interesting seeing her breakdown of her figuring it out, even though she has been a fashion critic now for, 20-something years. I'm not sure exact of the number. But the point is that we can get on up there in age and still not really feel like we are presenting ourselves outwardly
What's inside?
connected with who we are on
Yeah.
the inside. And so this is where it doesn't matter if you're in your late 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s. I hear from a lot of people that they are just now starting to figure out, they're ready to get started. Now, what I know too is they come with a lot of baggage, mental baggage and physical baggage. So you've got mental baggage on, I presented myself as X for all this time.
You can't switch.
Can't just
I'll be
switch
judged if
overnight.
I'm switching. If I
You can
switch over.
you get judged if you switch, or your husband's gonna be like, really, that doesn't look like you, like, you're gonna hear that a lot. This doesn't look like you, right? The second thing that's gonna happen is you probably have a lot of things that you're going to need to get rid of. And kind of coming to terms with that is hard. But I really it makes me crazy sometimes. My husband, we were talking about someone's house the other day that the guy was so bummed out because he's like, I didn't even make any money in it, and I lived there for 20 years. And I'm like,
Make money in it? Oh, like when he sold it
on selling it. And I was like, dude, you
didn't
just
lose.
sold the house for what you bought it for. So basically you've lived 20 years rent free, number one. And number two, get over it, move on. Life is short, right? So what I mean to say is a lot of these things, look at them as part of your journey, part of an experiment. Put them in the hands of people that will love them. You guys know I bring in goodie bags all the time of things now that people are like, oh my God,
How are
this
you
is
getting rid of
yours?
this?
And then they're like, yay, I love it. Thank you for the Chloe platform shoes from, 2003. You're welcome. So what I want to give you here is a wardrobe that at my age, 56-ish, right? Whether you are shy below or shy above, this is a wardrobe that will let you ease in to who you are without feeling like you've flipped on the switch overnight. And if you need to flip on the switch overnight, go for it. Sometimes people find it best to just rip the bandage off. But what I love about the Without Fails is we talk to them as the perfect things in your closet, because you can add those very experimental things later on and really push yourself. That's one way to view Without Fails for sure. But another way for people who have acquired a long life and a big closet is look at your Without Fails as the place where you can be diving into who you are, but still bring back some familiar items. Now, I encourage you to bring in your older familiar items that still feel good to you. Just as much as possible. Try not to bring in familiarity because your friends at lunch are going to judge you harshly, or your husband will talk smack or whatever it is. But listen, everyone, your own path, I get it, right? So all I can do is give you the tools that, you know, if at home you have a really kind of over the top, pale blush, Chloe ruffled top, which I did have, right? I'm going to wear this with my sporty nylon. And
are you flipping it on its head?
yeah, like, well, in my mind, if I've got these vestiges from my past closet, right, that had a lot more feminine brands, things that I was just emotionally drawn to, but not really, at the end of the day, I really barely cut the tags off of them. So if you've got those items in your closet, this is your kind of first step. You know, you're gonna take that Chloe top, you're gonna take that beautiful Simona Rashad dress or something, and you're gonna layer it with the trench coat here, you know, and then slowly, as you start to really uncover your DNA, you're going to use these woofs to help you push yourself further in the direction that you want to go in, rather than keeping kind of 1 foot in and 1 foot out. And then all of a sudden, you know, you're going to find yourself in 3 years, you're going to be like, real, get over here, I got a big bag for you, let's go. So in my closet, I have got leather. Because at my age, I do tend to have a lot more suiting type items, more items that are refined. This is where I really like something that is a bit ripped and shredded and faded plays a huge role in my closet, because it takes all of those things down a notch.
This has actually been a workhorse for you. I've seen you wear the black, and
So
I've
much.
seen you wear this way more than probably I even expected you to wear it, because it does add like a friction to all of your jackets, all of your button downs.
It does, and I think for us too, like, you know, again, being Tibby, like, we get the chance to say, okay, I love the distress, but please, like, don't give it to me in the baby carrot.
Right, that's
You
a
know,
whole
again,
different
like,
vibe.
totally different jean, right? Like,
Sorry.
totally different jean.
When you folded that in, Amy made it a sliver. It was like a portion of its former self.
Right, so,
Yeah.
you know, that is one of the things when you are going to look back and you're thinking about your closet checklist, guys. This is all additive. None of this stuff is in a vacuum. So now, by the time you've gotten to me, you have covered the texture, you've covered all of the colorings, you have covered how some things are going to give you big, some things are going to operate in your closet for the slim, some things are going to operate in your closet to be sporty and take things down a notch. Some things are going to operate in your closet to be a little more luxurious and take things up a notch if I'm wearing this over a t-shirt or something. And then some things are going to be in your closet because you really looked at what those important monikers are that are going to be speaking to chill, modern, and classic. And so this is a checklist you're going to run through so that by the time you get to the point where maybe you do make a big investment in something like here, this is the soft leather coat here, you know where this belongs in your closet. And it's not just one of 12 more coats that you bought, and it is occupying the role of the trench coat, the leather piece, the rich ring 2 color. And then what happens is in your closet, you're done with these things. So, you know, if I'm out and I'm looking at a burgundy long coat that's in leather, like, you don't need this. You've got these things checked off. And so now, like, your training wheels are off and you can really start to experiment, but you've always got this home base to come back to. And so anyways, I hope this was helpful.
Yeah. We're gonna break this down somewhere, right?
We're gonna break it down and we're
Yeah.
gonna break it up into the 5 different segments that we discussed today, which again, ironically, I wanna pull out 5 very different individuals, different places in our careers and our lives and our shapes and our backgrounds. yet the intersection on these without fails was so overlapping,
Mm-hmm.
yet our personal style and the way that we interpret things now on a daily basis
Mm-hmm.
is kind of anything but. So that's the goal, that's what you guys are reaching for. We sent off the new book on Tuesday, and it is gonna have just such a more robust, deeper dive into these concepts that we've been talking about. I wanna remind people, I will be in, at University of Georgia, actually, on Thursday night, giving a talk. The following week, I'm in Austin for a quickie moment, heading off to Auckland, New Zealand for Muse, then going to Melbourne. I'm Melbourne. And
Melbourne?
Karen's gonna help me. Karen's our resident Aussie. She's gonna help me with the pronunciations. Melbourne with Grace. Then I'm gonna go over to Brisbane and be with Samantha Ogilvy. Then I'm going to be back in Sydney with Grace, who does not have a store in Sydney, but she is doing a pop-up. We are going to be doing events in all places, and something really, really fun regarding the book in Sydney and Melbourne that I will give you more information on later. Is that it?
For now.
Yeah, and we have a good new salon series coming also in early November with an incredible executive from Google who is going to be sitting with Fermin, who is one of the best restaurateur.
He's the best.
Restaurateur.
He's a great chef.
Ooh, Matt.
He's an amazing chef.
Yeah.
We're going to be with him in Austin. That is not going to be a live event, but we are going to film it and share it with you all. So see you next Wednesday.
See you next Wednesday.
Bye.